Am I a year late on this review? Yes I am. Hello, my horde, and welcome to Let's Read with LabbyDragon, a very infrequent series where I talk about books. And we are, of course, today talking about Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. Yeah, it's not called Hocus Pocus 2, they didn't give it like a nice subtitle or anything. Nope, it's just, and the all-new sequel. Which really doesn't give me hope that they're gonna film this thing, which is a little bit of a disappointment because I would actually kind of like to see this exact story filmed. Starting with some spoiler-free talk today, this book is broken up into two sections called Then and Now, with Then being this faithful novelization of the film. You might be tempted to skip this first section, but I would advise against it. While remaining shot-for-shot faithful to the film, the author has actually added quite a bit of charming depth to the character of Max and has really started to lay in the lore that is going to become important in the sequel. And I can imagine I might not have even liked the sequel as much as I did if I had skipped this section of the book. The Now section of the book takes place on Halloween 2018 and stars the daughter of Max and Allison, whose name is Poppy, along with her best friend Travis and the girl she has a crush on, Isabella. Poppy is adorably awkward and pretty relatable, and I also loved the characters of Travis and Isabella. The three teens end up facing off with the Sanderson sisters. Of course. I have my little nitpicks about this story, but overall I did enjoy it, and it's very much the spirit of the original film driving it. The Sandersons never seem out of character and provide some really great laughs, and at the same time the author manages to deepen the characters in a satisfying way. As a person interested in lore, there's so much of it here in this sequel, but the heart of the story is never bogged down with the lore. The sequel even features one of Max's former bullies as the school principal and addresses how his run-in with the Sandersons affected him. Almost no stone is unturned in making sure this sequel is deeply connected with the original. I have no qualms about recommending this book to everyone who loves Hocus Pocus. It is honestly a delightful read, and being written at a YA level, it can also be a really quick read. Unless you're like me and you only read on your lunch breaks and it takes you all of October 2018 to finish, and then you wait to review it for an entire another year. If you are interested in reading this book, now is the time to turn off the video and come back later, because I'm gonna spoil everything. Alright, let's do this. We're jumping right to the end of the book here because my biggest gripe is with the teaser ending. Holy shit. I think the story of the man whose eye is the eye on the Sanderson spellbook sounds way more interesting than what the sequel actually was. Don't get me wrong, I still stand by it when I said that the sequel is delightful and good, but I can just imagine how much better the sequel they're trying to tease would be, and I need it, and I am so afraid it will never get written. How dare you bait me with better ideas than you gave me, damn it! Personally, although the characters of the Sanderson sisters were expanded upon in really interesting ways and the introduction of a good sister is an interesting point, I still really felt that the sequel fell a little too hard on the formula of the film. The Sandersons being back and for the most part still just wanting to eat children and live forever is a little too samey for me. The stakes aren't brought up terribly much when Max, Allison, and Danny go to hell, because even though it seems like it should be high stakes, they don't really seem too concerned about the fact that they are in hell when they are channeling through the ghosts to talk to Poppy. I just think taking the sting out of not knowing what was happening to them out of the story really sort of diminished the impact of it. But that may have been a conscious effort to keep the story from being too dark. Now, when Winnie finally gets the idea to start summoning a fuck ton of witches from hell, that is an excellent escalation of the stakes. But sort of every point between then just lacks a certain tension based on the fact that a lot of it just feels structurally like the original film. Also, as a really important side note, literally the entire town goes to actual hell when Winnie summons those witches, and the book does not take 1 second to address the consequences of that. I really needed it to take even one sentence about it. Like at the end, where we find out there's one girl who has been missing for a year, and the whole town should know where she is because everyone went there. Everyone. you can't quite just blame that one on gangs on PCP. An entire town of people experienced hell for several minutes. And one girl didn't come back. Excuse me? Does the town think she came back from hell and ran away from the sheer fucking trauma of it? Why don't we get to see anyone being concerned that someone did not make it back from hell? I'm pretty much broke over this one in the notes I jotted down after I finished the book, so it was pretty important for me to mention that. Something else that I feel like was teased to us for a second but never actually came to fruition that really bothers me. There was a point where I was convinced that Mary Sanderson was gonna turn on her sister and be Winnie's downfall. There's this scene where Mary sings a whole dang song about breaking away from toxic people and not letting anyone crush your spirit, and I really thought they were building to something with that moment, because otherwise it's just a pointless moment in a written medium where a character breaks into song as if it's actually the film. Without making it meaningful, it really just feels like it's, well, the first half had a song sequence, and so this one needs one too. And I really would have loved that twist, so I am so salty about it, even a year later. Also, Binks is still a ghost in this sequel. You know, we saw him walk into the light with his sister, his soul finally able to rest in a heartbreaking but sweet resolution to his 100 years of torment. Nah, he's still a ghost bound to this world, I guess. I just wanted to bitch about that. I feel like I should have something to say about Elizabeth Sanderson and the whole Isabella being her descendant, but I don't know, it's all kind of vanilla, and I don't have anything particularly interesting to say, especially not a year on from when I originally wrote my notes, so we're just not gonna talk about it. Likewise, the only thing I have to say about the romance is that it's really cute, and I'm so glad it exists, and hopefully if ever there is a filmed Hocus Pocus 2, it will be based on this book, and Disney will not shy away from its queer protagonist. Honestly, that's everything I had a hot take on, because I really did like this book, and I hope that this author gets to write the teased Hocus Pocus 3, because oh my gosh, I need it. Now the real question is, will I ever make that Kingdom Keepers 2 video that I wrote all these notes for? Heck if I know. If you've read this book too, drop a comment below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. I'd be really interested to hear what other people think. If you liked this video, consider doing the like and subscribe thing, and I'll see you treasures next time.